What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome to episode 6 of Justin's Chats. Today we are going to be talking about something a little more fun. I know the last couple weeks I haven't really gotten too much into it. I've been sick last weekend. It was not a whole lot of fun, but we managed to get one of these videos done. But this week we're going to talk about some cool stuff. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about Applebee's. In case you can't tell, getting ready to rock and roll right now. Got called in today, so ignore the shirt, ignore the wet hair. And we're going to talk a little bit about CF Walk. I know I've touched on it a little bit. I know I've touched on my thoughts on some of the CF community things, but we're going to touch on it a little bit more, what I hope to talk about, what I hope to accomplish, and so on. First off, we're going to start out with sports. As many of you know, I am a huge sports fan, specifically some sports more than others. For example, I love watching the Super Bowl and the World Series. I don't really care that much, to be honest with you, sorry sports fans, about, the MLB regular season because it's 162 games long, takes like 52 months to complete, seems like. Or the NFL regular season. I was a big Seahawks fan, Matt Hasselbeck for a while. He's been retired for a while. I'm a Packers fan by default, being from Wisconsin, but I'm not really a huge football fan other than, their two main big events. I'm a fan of other sports. As people know, I'm a huge Olympics fan. I love watching speed skating in the winter, rowing, gymnastics, stuff like that, Summer Olympics. Crazy diehard Olympics fan, so I look forward to that every 2 years. But I'm just an all-around sports fan. For a lot of you that know me, I'm a huge Tour de France fan. As stupid as that sounds, yes, I'm one of those guys that gets up 6 o'clock every morning for 21 days in June and July to get up and watch the Tour de France, a bunch of guys ride bicycles over mountains. That may sound crazy to some of you. I'm a big fan of it. It might be just me, being a sports fan, being a fan of stuff with wheels. Getting onto that, I'm a huge racing fan, specifically NASCAR. A lot of you obviously know that about me already. But not just NASCAR, I'm a fan of IndyCar, Formula One, IMSA road racing, short tracks. I'm a huge short track fan. I would like to go to my local short track more often and see the late models, super late models, four bangers, figure eight, all that stuff. I'm a race fan through and through. Specifically, though, NASCAR. And for probably, almost 12 years now, in just a couple weeks, it'll be 12 years now, I've been a diehard NASCAR fan and a Matt Kenseth fan. From Wisconsin, has nothing to do with me liking him. Actually, weird story how I started liking Matt Kenseth. So 2006, the Spring Bristol race. All of you that are familiar with NASCAR know this race. Kenseth was leading with less than 10 laps to go. I think it was 4 or 5 to go. And got moved out of the way by Kurt Busch because Matt was on older tires, and Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick got past him, went on to finish first and second. Matt Kenseth wound up third. But with 2 laps to go, Jeff Gordon had passed Matt for third place. Matt was back to fourth. And Matt moved Jeff Gordon out of the way to get third place, spun him out. Led to the infamous shoving incident. You can go look it up on YouTube. It's a little bit funny, actually, 2006, like I said. But anyways, I was in Arizona at the time, in Phoenix, and my cousin and my uncle were huge Jeff Gordon fans, and so I just kind of naturally, picked up on, I was watching the race with them, whatever, didn't really know anything about NASCAR, I was just, what? And I was like, wow, Jeff Gordon is he's like the god of NASCAR, and this guy, Matt Kenseth, just roughed him up and moved him out of the way, and that is so cool. I need to be a Matt Kenseth fan. So there I was, literally, didn't know anything about him, didn't know anything about it, but 2006 Spring Bristol race, March or April, it must have been late March. That was when I was a Matt Kenseth fan all the way up until his retirement last year in November at Homestead. Watching the Daytona 500 last week while I was sick, it was really weird with him not being in the race. It's the first NASCAR race I've ever watched that he was not a part of, and it was like, I don't have a dog in this fight, I don't have anyone to cheer for, and it's really weird. But I've always loved racing. I love being a fan of racing, and I've always, on the inside, not necessarily realistically, but wanted to be a race car driver. Whether that was, the big time when I was a kid, obviously, or more like, nowadays when I'm just like, it'd be cool someday to get to drive a late model or a super late around a short track somewhere just to say, hey, yeah, hell, I did it. Cool. Obviously, financially nor medically, not really entirely realistic and almost certainly unrealistic. But, leading from that has stemmed me to my career as an iRacer. And this might sound like the stupidest thing some of you have ever heard, but iRacing is to me, there's no really comparison, obviously. It's I don't know, people that religiously play FIFA or something. There are some people that play FIFA or Madden or whatever, and they go to big tournaments. I guess that's the closest thing you could say. So a lot of people don't understand. So you have your PlayStation games and your Xbox games for racing, whatever game it would be, pick a game, I don't really care. But then iRacing is that simulation factor, the realism of it, the needing to make pit stops, the tire wear, having to actually drive your car, move up the ranks, buy your content. Be safe. You can't just go through and bash through everybody, or you're probably going to get suspended by another member who reports you into the iRacing sanctioning body. And so that's kind of been my real life, quote unquote, real life career. Man, my hair is not liking being slightly damp. That's been my real life career, almost 5 years now. It was mid-June of 2013, because I begged my parents to let me try it out. They finally let me try it out. And it's been almost 5 years now. So, still rocking. That's my real life racing. And that's kind of what I do. And I'm sure a lot of you know I focus on that occasionally on Snapchat and Instagram, stuff like that. That's that. The other part of sports that's a big part of my life, obviously, is basketball. And I've played basketball. I've stayed for probably like 14 years now. Since I was like 6 years old, I've played basketball a long time. I'm not that old. I just turned 20. But I've played basketball for a long time. And that started, being from the hometown from, I won't mention it for confidentiality, so you don't come and find me and kill me. No, but I mean, where I come from, it's like basically like the holy grail of what you can do is to play sports, and being a multiple time state football champion school. Not me personally, I couldn't play football, I'd die. But it's interesting how that sports culture comes out and how it's impacted from literally like grade school, like preschool, grade school. They already have kids playing basketball and they already have coaches selected, and it's a big deal. And so I've played basketball for a long, long time, and I wasn't very good at it for probably like all of that time, basically, until like my junior year of high school. And I'd given up on playing for the school. I'd given up on playing school ball, but I played club basketball. And I figured out that I should try less to be an all-around player and try to focus on a few things. So my junior year, I sucked still. I sucked my junior year. I was really bad. Senior year, I tried playing some point guard, and I'm 6'1". And if you know anything about point guards in the NBA are like 6 foot-ish to like 6'4" tops, maybe 6'5". So I'd be like, professional size point guard. Obviously, I'm not professional point guard. I'm not even close to a professional point guard. I might be 1% of a professional point guard, maybe. But that was the role I fit into on this club team that I was on. We didn't have a great ball handler. I was the most experienced basketball player on the team. And it just so happened that I fit into the role of handling the basketball, making the choices, and seeing the court from a broader view other than just a couple of people that know how to shoot or whatever. And embraced that. And so last year, I hooked up with my best friends, Joel and Alexis, who a lot of you know, the second block of the year, so like basically second quarter for those of you that have quartered up school years, and started playing on their intramural team last year, and played a little bit more point guard. And then towards the end of the year, I started to realize, this isn't really my thing. I need to play to my strengths, and my strengths are not ball handling. My strengths for my brother. My brother's a great ball handler, and he needs to freaking embrace that. Ryan can dunk, which is freaking crazy, but that'll be another video for the summer when I'm like, hey, Ryan, go dunk, and he dunks, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But, tangents. Okay, keep it toned down, Justin. So, yeah, basketball. Lately, like the past probably year or so, I've been basically useless on offense other than ball rotation and a shooter and having good court vision. I'll be dead honest, I'm not a great offensively skilled player. I don't have a lot of ball moves. I'm not a fantastic finisher. I'm not even that great of a free throw shooter anymore because I work too much on three-point shooting. Sorry, Mom. My bad. But so I'm not big on getting contact. I'm not really bulky. I'm 6'1", like I said, but I weigh on 180 soaking wet. So I can't go in there against like big fat guys and big guys that lift 360 pounds and go up against them and go up strong. I can try, and it usually results in me ending up on the floor with like a broken leg or something. It doesn't work out well. So I've embraced being a shooter. And joined the Golden State Warriors, the NBA team. I've been a big Klay Thompson fan for like 6 or 7 years now, since he came out of Washington State in 2011. And I've kind of embraced that. He was the number 11 pick. And I embraced that in myself as much as I try. Like I said, I'm not a big sports fan, but basketball, I follow the whole season, follow all the teams, at least a little bit follow all the teams, know the basic rosters and so on. But I'm a big Golden State Warriors fan. And following them, I play a lot like a Kyle Korver or a Klay Thompson, in which I try to play really good defense, which leads to turnovers and transition game and be able to shoot the ball well on offense from the three-point line. Because being 6'1", back at the three-point line, I have the advantage of being a little bit taller usually than the perimeter guarders, unless I'm being guarded by some fat guy, in which case I try to just run away and hide. But that's just kind of my opinions on basketball, and that's some things that make me successful. And obviously I'll post more about that and when we get to basketball season during the summer when I play with my brother, I'll probably record some stuff during that and, talk more about basketball. But I just want to talk a little bit about what makes me tick on a basketball court and, having the court vision and the shooting ability from outside to be able to still make an impact, even if I don't necessarily have the ball in my hands all the time and don't necessarily make really fancy dribble moves or anything like that. Quick little topic here, Applebee's. Obviously, that's where I'm heading as soon as I get done with this. Probably going to be late. My bad. Managers, my bad. I'm doing this recording thing, so I'll send you a copy. A little shout out for you, so that's why I'm late to that. But that's what I do during a lot of my free time, and I love it there. I love working there. I love being able to talk to people, interact with people, and hopefully make an impact on their day. If you had a crappy day at work, you're going to walk in, you're going to see me, I'm going to ask you how your day was, and hope that you have a great meal, and then when you leave, I'm going to hold the door open for you and tell you to have a great evening, even if your day was crappy. I hope that, at least on a subliminal level, I can at least perk you up a little bit and make sure your day isn't a total bust, even if you are like the worst worker ever. I'll use my friend Dylan, for example. He's an oil miner. He's an oil miner from Canada, but we make fun of him that all mining is the same. It's not, obviously it's not, so I didn't say that. All mining is not the same, but we make fun of him that he's just some random coal miner that doesn't have an actual, soul. And, there are days they work long shifts and they work, in weird packages and they do weird stuff. And there are days when he comes home and he hops on iRacing with us or he calls us or whatever and chats with us and he's just in a bad mood and he's having a bad day. And my job is to try to perk him up and, just try to make him feel a little better, let him have some fun for the night before he has to go to bed and start all over again the next day. And I try to do the same thing at Applebee's. I try to be the most positive person I can be, embrace my job and stuff like that, and I think I do an okay job. Finally, before we wrap up, because this thing is already 12 minutes long, I didn't expect it to be this long, but, it happens. I get talking, and I'm Justin, I talk and talk and talk, and you're like, Justin, shut the hell up. But we're rocking, so it's okay. Talk a little bit about CF Walk. I am hoping to be able to speak this year for the final time as my final public speech, if you will, for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I've mentioned I spoke a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, coming up on 3 years ago, and I read off a script, and I basically, went through and said, this is me, this is my life, this is my story, thank you, bye, thanks for coming, fundraise. And I've mentioned also that I haven't been a huge fan of some things that have been going on in the CF community lately, from some of their advertising techniques to the way that some of us are being treated by them, and some things that are happening that are more in-depth that I won't go into, but that I'm not a huge fan of. And I feel like I'm not going to go up there and start ranting about all that. That would be completely inappropriate and defeat the whole point, and I'd probably just get booed off of the mini stage standing at a park bench with a microphone in my hand. But I want to go in there without a script, and obviously I'm going to know what I'm going to say ahead of time, but I just want to talk, and I want to chat, and I want to be able to look at people that are there, thank them for coming, because it means the world to me, honestly. People that go to the CF Walk for us, there are heroes, honest to God. There's no if, and, or but. There's no other way around it. I mean, without those people, we may or may not have an event like that. We may or may not even be alive, some of us. The people that attend that and support us through the CF Foundation, through walks and wine festivals and cheese festivals, because this is Wisconsin. People that do that kind of stuff, they're our heroes, and they're the people that we need to be there and thanking. So I want to go there, be able to talk, embrace the next generation of CF fighters like myself. And I think from my position of power, I'm the president of the CF Walk here in town. That position doesn't have any actual power until the day of the walk, and it doesn't have any power after the walk. I just get to know what's all going on, coordinate who's where, why, entice my ideas, because honestly, we haven't really had a person with CF on the inside, and that's just part of the game. Being on the inside and being able to relate decisions and things that we like and don't like and see, and being a marketing person, I mean, that's perfect for me. That's what I see every time we go. I'm like, well, maybe we should change this or rearrange this, just try and make it a little bit easier and help people be able to enjoy this event. And so that's kind of my job, but I just hope to be able to talk a little bit about what I like and don't like, see my experience personally, not just reading off a script, of course, but just kind of talking and having a conversation. And I have to get all that figured out. We have to get all sorts of stuff logistically figured out for that to happen, or if it's not me, for someone else to speak, so on. A lot that goes into it, but I'll be sure to keep you updated. I'm sure I'll have more news in the coming weeks as we get closer to the event. We're probably, I don't know, must be 7, 8, 9 weeks out from the event now, so we're starting to get ratcheted up. We'll start to have some meetings and some final decisions being made. Other than that, I gotta get out of here, or I am actually going to get fired. So other than that, thank you all for watching very much. I appreciate all the support. It's been ridiculously incredible, and I can't thank you all enough. Hey, bye.